Hello and welcome back to another video on living abroad. This is another weekly recap of all the top stories from around the Philippines. If you guys want to see regular daily content from top stories, check out Asia Now, my second brand new channel. We just crossed 300 subscribers. I'm working my way to 1,000. Go over there, check it out, and subscribe to that one as well. Show some love, show some support, and here's what you missed this week. In this video, I will tell you about another foreigner being arrested, find out why, foreigner getting arrested in the mall, the biggest seizure in the Philippines history without a single casualty, a very honest Filipino man returning over 500,000 pesos after he founded President Marcos Jr. being listed on the top 100 most influential people in the world, and much more. You know, let's face it, people are not perfect. Whether you're American, Canadian, any nationality, if you're in the Philippines, you gotta make some mistakes. But this next story might have you scratching your head as how people can do such things. A Chinese man was arrested for having high-powered arms in his possession and for bribery. Here are the details. Police seized and other contraband from a Chinese national in a recent search warrant operation in Taguig City. In a statement released by the police, they said that two other Chinese nationals were present at the house, were placed under custody for further verification. Another Chinese individual, meanwhile, was later apprehended for attempted bribery for the release of those earlier arrested. Authorities also seized a McLaren GTR sports car, an SUV, an electric bike, and much more. These vehicles were brought to the anti-carnapping unit for investigation and verification. Later on that same day, two persons identified as Jerry Mari Cheng and Zhuang Gandong arrived at the Regional Special Operations Group compound inside the NCRPO headquarters. Cheng handed over two black paper bags containing 3 million pesos to Zhang, who in return approached the police officer and offered the money in exchange for the release of the individuals under custody. The RSOG officer promptly arrested Zhuang while Cheng managed to flee the scene after handing over the paper bag. Zhuang would face charges of corruption of police officials while Cheng remains at large. What an unbelievable story. It almost seems like a movie script, you know? It's one thing to get in trouble and it's another thing to go ahead and try to bribe the police officers with 3 million pesos. Kudos to that Filipino officer, because let's be honest, I can't imagine their salaries being that high, even as a police officer, but the integrity shown by that officer not to accept that 3 million peso bribery. I mean, there could be CCTV cameras, maybe he felt the pressure, I don't know, but still, it takes a big man to refuse 3 million pesos. I know personally I might definitely reconsider, but good for him. And leave your comments down below. What do you think of this? Because this is not just a story of a foreigner misbehaving. It takes a lot to obtain such high-powered arms, helmets, and all these things. And it said in another article that the had China written on them, scripted on them. So clearly these people planned something. Who knows what would be prevented? Thank goodness the police officers captured them before something crazy would happen. And another thing, how did they get their hands on some helmets or all these things? Because surely they could not have brought it through the obviously airport, right? It would be very, I mean, unless they paid somebody, I don't know, but it seems like they obtained it from maybe somebody within the community or within the Philippines, which makes you think, is there like a bigger organization? I don't know. Leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your theories of how they got their hands on such all kinds of weird stuff. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. With yet another foreigner getting in trouble in the Philippines, I was hoping we can go a day without having to bring some bad news regarding foreigner behavior, but you know, we could always hope, right? So a Nigerian man was arrested for theft. Here are the details. A Nigerian national was arrested after he was caught stealing the personal items of his housemate in Cebu City. The suspect, identified as Chidera Niwake, 23, a medical student who is currently staying in Aspera Homes condominium, was arrested by the police as he was about to sell the stolen items at the mall. Investigation showed that the victim, a 25-year-old from Cagayan de Oro, had their MacBook Air M1 worth 55,000 pesos, iPad Air 4 worth 32,000 pesos, and a bunch of other things valued together over 100,000 pesos stolen on Wednesday, causing him to ask for help at the police officer who was residing in the same condominium. So what are the chances this guy got lucky that the police officer was living in the same condo and they were able to go ahead and locate the guy using the GPS system? Amazing what technology can do. So the MacBook had a GPS system that was in it. They followed it and captured the suspect inside of a mall. Unfortunately, this had to happen. I mean, you're a med student, you'd think you have a little bit more responsibility. I can't sit here and, judge people, but who knows what this person was going through. Maybe they were in some serious need of cash. However, the victim, who knows how long they worked for to get those items, and it's just not right to steal other people's items. You're not a child, you're a grown person, you're an adult, and your actions have consequences. Next is the story of an airport employee who returned $10,000 after finding it. The management of Ninoy Aquino International Airport applauded the integrity of Victor Perez, an airport employee, for returning valuable items found at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Perez returned $10,000 or 565,000 pesos worth of cash that he found at the airport on Saturday. Salute, sir. Another big man doing big things. I would definitely, I don't know, man, 10,000 US dollars found at the airport, working in the Philippines for who knows what wages a day. That $10,000 seemed like probably a year's worth of salary. You could have just pocketed, walked away this way, try to hide it under a bag. Because we usually hear like some terrible stories about the Manila airport, especially. Let's be honest, it's not the greatest international airport. They got the roach problem, not the roach. They got the rats problem, the bed bugs problems. They got the bullet scams. They got people swallowing money. So once in a while, it's a good thing to hear some very positive news like this come out. It shows that people still have integrity. I mean, personally, I lost my wallet twice in the Philippines, and both times the Philippines returned it to me, and I gave them a reward, a cash reward. So I hope the owner of this person, if you're watching this, I don't think you are because the channel's still new, but if you are, I hope you gave him a big chunk of money for returning your actual cash without taking anything. Because yeah, like I mentioned, I lost my wallet in Dumaguete once. People returned to me, and I lost my wallet at the airport once, where the management called me on the PA system, and I say, hey, why they keep calling my name? Eventually, I went to the counter, like, hey, man, you dropped your wallet, you fool. And I was so thankful I didn't have to go through the whole process of trying to regain my identity and all that. Moving on to President Marcos Jr. being listed on the Times Magazine Top 100 Most Influential People in 2024. President Marcos is named as one of the Times list of 100 most influential people of 2024, citing his role in the post-pandemic recovery of the country's economy and his stance against Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea. I had no idea Mr. Marcos had so much influence in the world to be listed in the top 100 people. I don't know how I feel about that personally. I don't know much about him, but then again, I don't know the effects he has in the Philippines nation and its citizens. Maybe you could let me know in the comment section. I don't want to get into politics, but do you feel like he deserves that to be in the top 100? I just figured there'll be a lot more people that are influencing the world more than Mr. Marcos, but I guess the population of the Philippines is quite large, and I'm not really sure how people feel about it. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts about the previous story about the foreigner and this story of Mr. Marcos being on the top 100 list. Here's a crazy story that went viral regarding a Pinoy, a Filipino vlogger by the name of Boy Tapang. A Cebuano vlogger took down his vlog regarding 1 million peso kites, which had 7 million views in just 1 week after receiving backlash from internet users and Bangko Sentro Philippines. In an interview with Sunstar Cebu on Wednesday, Ronnie Swan, which is a real name, also known as Boy Tapang, stated that BSP representative came to his home and asked him to remove his post, which he did. Instead, Swan said he used the money to buy a sports car. Boy Tapang is a very popular Filipino vlogger, and he does things for entertainment. So what he had done was taken 1 million pesos in 1,000 peso notes, made into this huge kite that apparently took him 5 hours to put together and try to fly it. You got some backlash because a lot of people are saying, look, we work hard for our money. It takes us a long time to earn even 1,000 pesos, let alone 1 million pesos. And you're out here flying this thing around, so you got some backlash. And I guess the Bank of the Philippines also had an issue with this for some reason, and they came and asked him to take the video down. I don't know how I feel about banks telling you what to do with the money, but I guess they don't want any trouble. If aside from the ethical, moral, and just bad taste video, I wonder what legal issues they had with it. I guess they're trying to prevent robberies and violence. People are going to try to get that money. I might be part of that group trying to get my hands on a kite worth 1 million pesos. If you don't know, the Philippines is huge on having beauty pageants, and they've had several winners over the past years, and right now they just released the official batch of delegates for Miss Philippines Earth 2024 during a press presentation at Lime Resort Manila in Pasay City on Wednesday. The grand coronation is scheduled for May 11th. You know, a lot of Western women have this really, I guess, negative attitude towards beauty pageants. They think that we are really just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They feel like we're objectifying women, but in my opinion, it's a way to actually appreciate women and their beauty. I'm not a big fan about it, but I don't see anything wrong with it. But then again, I'm not a lady. I don't know how to feel if I was a girl towards beauty pageants, but it's definitely nice to look at. And some very quick international news before we jump back into the Philippine news. The Department of Migrant Affairs confirmed that there were no injuries when the huge flooding and heavy rainfall that occurred in Oman and Dubai, the UAE. That's a good sign. And at first there were some reports that they had this, like, what's that thing called? Oh, cloud seeding, where they actually send planes into the sky and the planes release these chemicals that interact with anyway. So apparently I had no idea humans had the capability to these kinds of things to affect the weather, but UAE's quickly dismissed those claims. But yeah, luckily, and if you haven't seen the footage, it's absolutely insane what's going on in Dubai and UAE, the amount of rainfall they experience, complete cars being underwater. But yeah, hopefully everybody's safe, and they're definitely not prepared with that kind of rainfall. Oh, and some quick bribery news, right? So yesterday I covered 2 people that refused bribes in the Philippines, showing honesty and integrity, but that can't be said for somebody across in another country that's a Filipino. The DOJ asks Timor-Leste authorities for the immediate extradition or deportation of expelled Solon Arnolfo Tevez Jr. after reports of his son allegedly bribing a member of the East Timor police, in which case he was immediately arrested. So yeah, the same cannot be said about integrity for this Alfonso character and his son. Alfonso was a guy that last year reportedly had given out the hit on a few opponents regarding politics and all that. Then he fled to Timor-Leste. He was arrested there, and I guess we're just waiting for his extradition. But then we find out apparently his son tried to bribe the officials and did not get away with that one. Next, in some quick news, the traffic police began on Wednesday implementing the ban on e-bikes, tricycles, and other similar unregistered vehicles from national roads in the National Capital Region. As of noon, the MMDA apprehended 87 vehicles while 19 vehicles were impounded as part of the ban. However, now Mr. Marcos President Bongbong Jr. has come out and said, hey, let's stop. For about a month, let's not issue any of these. Let's give a leeway, some time for people to be aware of the change in law and to get registration, to basically give them a little bit of a leeway so everybody's aware before issuing out tickets. Perhaps these are the types of actions that Mr. Marcos Jr. on the top 100 most influential people on this planet. Here's another crazy story from Zamboanga, Philippines. A female college student who were reported missing on Monday was found alive. The victim was last seen when she went to a photocopy shop in nearby Barangay San Roque. 3 unidentified men reportedly forced her into a car, then sped towards an unknown direction. A passerby found the victim at 9 p.m. on the same day under a mango tree. Police have said that there's a manhunt underway. Okay, another nearly missed tragedy. I'm glad the woman is safe. Who knows what happened to her? And I'm just happy she's alive. 70-year-old taxi driver getting into a serious collision in Manila. A 70-year-old taxi driver hit an electric post after losing consciousness in Manila on Tuesday. The Manila Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office was quick to respond after they took the man to the hospital after the medics applied first aid. After looking on Google, quickly researching what is the age limit to be a taxi driver in the Philippines, I was not able to find anything. It doesn't seem to be a requirement to be a taxi driver. There doesn't seem to be any age restrictions. So apparently, as long as you can drive and have a license, you can be a taxi driver. But personally, I think there has to be a cutoff age, right? What if you're 85, 90, or whatever? Like, don't get me wrong. I interviewed an 83-year-old man last year on my main channel, Living Abroad, who had the comprehension of a teenager or like a middle-aged man. He was very sharp, articulate, but at some point your brain and your body stop connecting and responding as fast as it would if you're a regular adult. So would love to know your thoughts. Leave your comments down below. Like, of course, I want people to be able to make a living, to survive, to pay for their bills and families, and earn a livelihood, but there has to be some kind of age limit, right? Or some kind of practice where they have to take a test annually to ensure that the cognitive situation is actually adequate to drive a taxi. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this specific story. I'd love to know, unless I'm missing something, if this guy is over the age or something like that. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of any of the stories I talked to you guys about today. If you take your time to write it, I'll take your time to respond. I know I'm on vacation right now, but I still want to give you guys all the latest about the Philippines. See if you can guess which beach I am at right now. If you guess right, I'll go ahead and give you a shout out in the next video. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to see daily content, top news from around the Philippines, check out my brand new Asia Now channel. We just crossed 300 subscribers. So yeah, go over there, support that as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.